Ken, what was your report on Saturday about Shohei Ohtani?
Okay.
I believe we were talking about the chances of him getting moved, and I
And
continue to.
what did you say he would not go to?
I did not say he would not go anywhere.
Oh, I thought you said maybe we were just you and I talking that you didn't believe he would get traded to the Dodgers.
Oh, well, I will put it this way. The Dodgers do not believe he would get traded to the Dodgers. And yet, when you talk to others, they would say, well, if Artie Moreno ever relents here and decides to trade him, why wouldn't he want the Dodgers in the mix? It's 2 months, for goodness sake, and you'd be getting some of the Dodgers' best players. So that's the Dodgers' belief, and maybe it's accurate. I don't know. But really, all of these conversations that we're having, and they're productive, fun conversations, but they're irrelevant until the Angels actually decide that they're going to do this. Now, keep in mind, they're 5.5 back in the wild card, not insurmountable. And after they get through the Yankees, they've got the Pirates and Tigers. They've also got the possibility of Trout coming back and Drury coming back, and some others as well. Ben Joyce in the bullpen, Sam Bachman in the bullpen. So they're not just ready to give up on the season yet. I know we all want them to in a way. A lot of people want them to. I don't really care one way or the other. They do whatever they want to do. But it's not to that point at this particular juncture. We're all speculating. I'm going to speculate some more when I write tomorrow. But I just don't see right now that it's necessarily going to happen.
Well, AJ brought it up because John Heyman said yesterday Artie will definitely not trade Ohtani to the Dodgers. So AJ was like, no, Ken said that first. So there was a little, insider back and forth going on.
I was giving you credit.
No. It is the Dodgers' belief that Artie Moreno would never trade him to the Dodgers. That's what they think. But I hate to deal in absolutes at this time of year because you often look stupid. And even the absolute, which is not an absolute, but we've been talking, and I've said it repeatedly, I don't expect this to happen. That's not an absolute. If the Angels collapse, in my view, pressure will mount on Artie Moreno. Maybe he doesn't care. He's the owner of a team with arguably the greatest player of all time, a player who, by the way, is having one of the greatest seasons of all time. Maybe you don't want to give that up. Maybe you don't want to give up the extra income you get from having him on your team. I don't know exactly how that works. There is a lot going on here, and there's the emotional connection. Now, granted, we say all this, and we know that the Angels, if they take him to the end of the season, make him a qualifying offer, and he rejects it, then they only get a draft pick in return. They certainly can do better than that in the trade market. But all of these factors are coming into play. And as I've said before, this is not my decision. It's not AJ's decision, not Scott's, Brock's decision. It's not any fan's decision. It's not any other club's decision. One guy matters. That's Artie Moreno.
Yeah, Ken, and if we are talking about Ohtani getting traded, we were talking about this before we had you on. What happens? I'm curious as to what happens with the MVP vote since he's in the American League. If he gets traded to the National League, do those stats carry over, or is it just from when you get traded to the end of the season? How do they vote? Is it Ohtani versus Acuna? If he does get traded to the National League, how does that work? I'm curious.
Brock, it's really interesting, and we had this question on my show yesterday from a fan. People are wondering about this, and first of all, the way the BBWAA rules work, and I checked this with our president, Shai Davidi of Rogers Sportsnet yesterday, he could get elected MVP in both leagues. Could. Realistically, would that happen? I seriously doubt it. He'd only have 4 months in one league, the American League, and then he'd only have 2 months in the National League. He's going to be the MVP. Let's say this happens over Acuna or Mookie Betts. It's hard to imagine. But in theory, could it happen? Yes, it could happen.